Hello again, Gary Champion, Psychic Medium. I haven't done a video for a while. I really haven't gotten anything from the other side. So all my videos are based on things that I hear. And I've been hearing a lot, but nothing really I can do a video about. But in this long list of crap here that I wrote last week, there is one right there. And they led me to it, back to it. I wrote it down, ignored it, and they led me back to it. You see, I write all this stuff down. I cross it off. I cross it off as I investigate it or think about it or whatever, and then it's still there. I didn't cross it out, so it has value. I have someone in the, I don't know what you call it, lawyering, judging arena. Someone who does that for a living, is going to come on and talk about what's going on. And that's very unusual. They have a code of ethics. You can't talk about other lawyers or the system itself in any way. So I'm going to do a Zoom video, or maybe 2 or 3 or 4, however many she wants to do. And I told you it's a girl. Shouldn't have done that. Ruined it. Ruined the ending. And we'll just turn her camera off. So she's in no trouble. And we get to see some of the inside stuff. We've been discussing a little bit about the inside stuff that's going on. And it's basically around the illegality of the system and passing illegal laws. They're illegal. Go right against the Constitution, but they're passing them left and right. And she's in the center of that storm. So, I mean, we can't reveal who she is. She's my mystery guest. Anyway, looking forward to that. I just talked to her a minute ago. I finally talked her into doing it. She has nothing to lose. I'm not going to reveal who she is, and we'll turn her camera off. There's no way of knowing who she is. There'll be an audio on her side and a video audio on my side. Anyway, really excited about that because we don't know these things. We're not inside the Clarence Thomas thing and the lawyers, how they protect themselves and pass laws where you can't say these things. It's in the system, systemic. The greed and things that, you can't do anything about it. It's like the Supreme Court saying, we don't need judicial interference in what we're doing. We're the Supreme Court. We're above all that. No, they're the ones that need it the most. They're taking money every place they can take it and not lying about it, just not saying anything, which to me is worse. People are digging it out and discovering they're taking money from everybody, and then now what are you going to do to earn that money? Ooh, I got a thing coming up here. I want you to vote on this one, that. Most people wouldn't do that, but there are some. I don't want to mention any names, but they're taking money left and right. She's privy to all that. She knows a lot of things that you and I don't know. So excited to have someone within a community of something. If you have something, if you're within if you're a lawyer or a doctor and you want to talk about the inequality and how things are collusion, like the AMA is really running that. They're in collusion together. You can't, Anyway, May the 28th, we have a free healing session. 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, USA. You can join it from any place. It's in the chat room on my YouTube site, which is called Gary Champion Psychic Medium. June the 4th, we have free readings. This is getting exciting, isn't it? Free readings in the chat room, same thing, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, USA. June the 18th, we have a healing. Group healing, really is what it is. We get in the chat room and everybody sends their energy into the chat room. And people have said things don't hurt anymore. So it's a wonderful thing to join. June the 11th, I'm teaching a class called Tapping into Your Intuition and how to do it. I haven't had any response on it. I threw it out there, I think a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And people have said they're interested in the class, but you have a conscious self and a subconscious self. And the conscious self is the one that goes to the grocery store and does all that stuff. The subconscious handles all the other stuff, like your immune system. And I've devised a test, like 75 questions, that are supposed to take you from where you are now into being a lot more intuitive, simply by answering these questions and then evaluating it. We'll add them up and then choose something else to do in a different manner that makes it better. It's a progressive kind of a class. Anyway, there's 75 questions. Tapping into your intuition. I don't know what to call it, but that's probably as good a title as I can come up with. Everybody has their intuition. Everybody has it, and I swear there are people that don't, because every decision they make is bad and wrong. They're doing what they want to do. You have two voices. You have your voice that tells you, yeah, I think I'll go do this. I think I'll have some ice cream. That's your voice. And then the intuitive voice says, stay away from ice cream. It make you fat or whatever. Every now and then in moderation is probably what they would say. Your guides would say. I can't have any at all. But your intuition would tell you something differently. And that's the voice you really want to listen to. Your voice is the one that keeps getting you in trouble. And your guides or people around you, they never steer you wrong. They never have. I hear stuff all the time, and I incorporate it into something I'm doing because I hear it. Amazingly, my wife comes up with a lot of neat stuff. I think she's tapped into her intuition because she'll be sitting around and blurt out something that's fantastic. So, anyway, June the 11th, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, USA, tapping into your intuition, and 75 questions, and answering the questions in a yes or no manner. Because I figured out that most things in life, and I had a system when I was a kid, a yes or no system. And all I had to do was relax and I'd get a yes or a no. That was my early sort of steering thing that I had. This is like that. This is how to navigate through life with a better understanding of what's actually going on. Something wrong with my lips. Anyway, I've got a couple of new things to my website. One is Zoom group readings. Sort of family or friends and family readings. You could get your people together and book one session and you're all in it. You're all in the Zoom class. And I can read and anyway, and some party readings, which I'll come to your house for a party. I used to do a lot of parties. I used to love the heck out of them because people are just funny. Anyway, the thing on my list here that I did not mark off is something not just you or I, but everybody in this country needs to be looking at because it's going to be they're saying is a fault line. I don't know what that means. They just said it, fault line. Tripwires. Ooh, that's getting interesting. There are tripwires that we're going to trip and discover that things are worse than what we thought they were. And it's regarding voter suppression. We've always had voter suppression in this country, especially in the South. But that's how we get the same old, same old. That's how these 80-year-old guys are still in office because they suppress the vote. Can't have them foreigners voting on us because they're not from here. They don't know us. Yeah, they live here. And the people who have lived here for 600 years, those are the votes they want to suppress. Why? Because they win elections. Then they can go on cashing those paychecks from, it's like we were talking about with people in the Supreme Court taking money left and right. And a lot of senators and congressmen, they do the same thing. They do speaking engagements, which are disguised as speaking engagements. They're really just graft. That's all it is. Why don't you speak on blah, blah, blah? Oh, yeah, I can do that. I got a thing on that. And they pay him $100,000 to do that. It's income. How many of them get it under the table, over the table? Here's the thing. Is there a difference between Clarence Thomas taking a gift of $500,000 a year, or his wife taking $100,000 gift and not really doing anything to earn it? If you don't know about it, is it different? Um, to me, if you don't shout out, I took $100,000 to do this thing, then, which they didn't say anything about it, because then everything is pointed at them. You did that? How could you do that? How long do you think you can get away with that? Well, 32 years. They've taken money from various donors, and we don't know what our court system has done to lean in one direction or another, depending on how much money they got paid. Let's put it this way. Clarence Thomas didn't get paid so much money from a GOP person, from a Republican, and then got paid the same amount from a Democrat and got confused and didn't know how to vote. He's getting money from the Republicans. The big money is Republican money. It's like he knew he. I think it's worse if you don't. He's not covering it up. He's just not revealing it. I mean, don't you think he has a obligation to do that, since we pay his $264,000 salary? His wife is a influencer. That's what she gets paid to do, and a rebel rouser. She's the far right, and I suspect he probably has to be. So they're taking money from the far right. Are they voting anything that we can catch them at? Who knows? No one's looking at it. And then they're asked about it, and Clarence says, all sage, we don't need people telling us what to do. We're the Supreme Court. We're above that. Well, how come you're taking money in your both fists and stick it in your pocket and not reporting it? Anyway, that's some of the stuff that I hope my guests will discuss on the videos I'm going to make with that person about the illegality of the legal system. And again, if you don't tell anybody you're doing something illegal, is it the same as doing something illegal? I mean, if you don't get caught at it, there's no repercussion for him taking money. There's no repercussions at all. He can take billions of dollars. There's no repercussions if he takes that money and votes that way. There are no repercussions for it. There's no balance system there. He can take $1 billion and vote that way. My conscience tells me to vote that way. I think not telling about it and lying about it is just the same thing. Anyway, voter suppression, you're going to see a lot of that going on the next 2 years, or until the next vote. And at the local level. A lot of backroom deals being done on how we can make the voting time where these people can't get to the polls, and make it difficult. Put a poll way over somewhere and they can't get over there, and disguise it as something else. They're big on disguising. Well, that building really wasn't. It's way over here. It's more convenient to have it over here. We should be picking people up in cars and taking them to vote. We shouldn't have to worry that they have to get there and the bus broke down, or they're ill and they can't get there. Should be able to vote in absentee, absentee ballot. The preservation of the vote is our basic right. It's a basic thing we have going for us. One person, one vote. If you suppress the vote, you don't get an accurate tally about what's going on. How much of that is 20% of that suppressed? That's just enough for the other guy to win. Anyway, my guest might have some ideas on that too, how voter suppression goes along, because she knows these things. Interesting. So we're going to get some inside information on what's actually going on. Forget May the 28th, healing in the chat room. June the 4th, readings, free readings, in the chat room. June 18th, free healing in the chat room. June the 11th, tapping into your intuition. That's class you have to pay for, but it's worth it. If you can unmuddle your mind and learn how to have some clarity in your decisions, that's what it's about. It could be picking the proper dog food. It could be something like that. Pick a dog food that doesn't upset your dog's stomach. What a value that is, just doing that. Anyway, should be fun. Guest speaker. Really, I'm just going to be here saying yes and no and maybe have a few questions, but I don't know anything about the law or judicial system or anything. No knowledge of it at all. I've been lucky enough to stay out of that. I've been sued for anything. I'm not worth anything. They wouldn't sue me. It would be a waste of time. Anyway, voter suppression, that's going to be the big thing, but because it's not Democrats that are doing it, it's Republicans that are doing it. So you're going to see a lot of, oh, no, that's not, it's gerrymandering. It's the same thing. That's a part of voter suppression. When you change the location, okay, we'll move all these dark-skinned people into this little area and they can all vote, but it won't count. See, they have no power within that. Where it's scattered within the city and the town, that counts. So they figured ways. They've been doing it for 150 years. They're not going to stop. They'll have to. Some of them go to jail for paying people to disrupt voting, staying outside the voting building, and insinuating things, and that's illegal. But they do it. They're just right outside the thing there. They have little tables. I don't know if you've seen them. I've seen them here. They have a little table. Come on over here. We'll straighten you out. We'll tell you what's really going on. Legal, illegal, they shouldn't be anywhere near anything. It's a vote. You vote your conscience. Anyway, I'm curious about the whole system. And maybe my eyes are just opening up. I've been busy doing my own thing. And now maybe we can help people that just saying voter suppression is sort of chilling. Who are we? Who is that person to tell this person how to vote? Shouldn't be allowable. Shouldn't be. But what we have is now institutional voter suppression. Someone just said that. I don't know what that means. I may have to look it up. But it's institutional voter suppression. They've done it so long, they know how the system works. They know how to get around all the legal. They pass a law, you can't do this. They find a way around it. And that's true of the world. Anytime someone passes a law about something, there's about 20 ways to go around it. You can't have gambling in Kansas City. You can have it on a boat. So they all went and made fake boats. They went out. They're just fake. They don't have engines or anything. And they can gamble on those boats. Not illegal at all because it's on a boat. That's a stupid rule. It only took them about an hour and a half to figure out a way around that. Here's what we'll do. Meet down the river. We'll all build these little casinos that look like boats. Have little paddle wheels on them and everything. They're just gambling establishments, and they serve food and drinks and stuff like that. But they don't go up and down the river. That's expensive. You have a boat that'll actually float and go up the Mississippi River. That's a boat. And they do. They give cruises up and down the Mississippi River. You can see them every afternoon at a certain time. During the summer when Beale Street Music Festival is going on and all the bands are playing down at Tom something Park. I can't think of the name of it. It's right on the river. And these paddle boats will come up and they'll back up and they'll just kind of stay there, letting their passengers listen to the music. So yeah, they do have paddle wheelers, but this isn't what this was. This was an attempt to subvert the system that was in place to keep them from having gambling in Kansas City. How do I know this? I've been there. No fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys coming by. Bye.